For AEW, 2022 can't end fast enough. But in 2023, things could actually get worse.
Pro Wrestling Bits. Subscribe now.
AEW has had a rocky 2022, and even with the Elite back in the fold, ticket sales continue to erode. AEW Full Gear did $1 million gate, which is encouraging on its face, but it was hardly a sellout, and there were a lot of empty seats in that building. In fact, let's start there with AEW's low ticket sales. AEW ticket sales cratered to close out 2022, and they're not looking too hot in 2023. According to the Good Faith Observer, because we have to criticize with care, AEW ticket sales in the new year are underwhelming despite entering several new markets. Shows in Indiana, Texas, Colorado, Oregon, Fresno, and Kentucky are all under 3,000, with Seattle the only real standout with almost 7,000 tickets sold. Give the assist to Northwest Products' Bryan Danielson and Swerve Strickland. Though WWE is the exception because of the insane amount of TV and Saudi money they're getting, ticket sales have always been the lifeblood of a wrestling company. Even in WWE, tickets have been flying off the shelves post-pandemic. After outselling WWE in its home market last year, AEW has gone in the opposite direction this year. With far less revenue streams, this should be a cause for concern and a sign that the product has hit a wall in terms of growth. Next is free agency, particularly the scariest con in pro wrestling, Nick Khan. Pro wrestling free agency doesn't kick into high gear until 2024, but by late 2023, there will be negotiations. Hell, FTR's contract is reportedly up in April of 2023. Keep an eye out for that. 2023 will see tense negotiations, tampering, and everything in between from both sides. Unfortunately for AEW, only one side has a man known as the most powerful agent in Hollywood. Given all his connections, his ability to put wrestlers in A-list films, and his skills as an A1 dealmaker, Nick Khan will be WWE's MVP as it tries to steal top-tier free agents from AEW. When it comes to 2024, everybody's talking about MJF, the Elite, Brock Lesnar, the New Day. Nobody's talking about Nick Khan, but they should be. Next is AEW's TV deal, which could be negatively impacted by Warner Bros. Discovery's budget. AEW will enter pivotal negotiations for a new deal in 2023. The good news is Warner Bros. Discovery seems like it's all in with AEW. The conglomerate has expressed interest in creating more original AEW programming, but at what cost? Like literally at what cost? How much are they really willing to spend on AEW? WBD lost $2.3 billion in the third quarter of 2022. That's pretty much Vince McMahon's entire net worth. WBD CEO David Zaslav's comments at the investors call this week hardly sounded positive for the idea of AEW getting a huge increase in rights. Those aren't my words. That comes directly from Dave Meltzer in the Good Faith Observer. Mind you, this is the same David Zaslav who threatened to cut ties with the NBA to save money. If TNT doesn't have the NBA, AEW will essentially be on half a network. More importantly, if TNT is willing to cut ties with the NBFNA, nobody is safe. Not even WBD darling AEW. If AEW doesn't get a significant increase in TV money, they could face a significant exodus in top free agents. Tony Khan is going to need to generate a bidding war outside of WBD, but A, there haven't been very many reports of other partners who are interested in AEW, and B, if AEW leaves television to take a streaming deal with, say, an Apple TV, then there really isn't much of a wrestling war with WWE. Amazon Prime Video has the NFL and a younger subscriber base, so that could be something, if not a Hail Mary. By the way, if you're planning to get shredded in 2023, you don't need a prayer, you need testosterone. Do you know your levels? Find out with our sponsor at Let's Get Checked. Guys, if you're thinking about your 2023 bodybuilding goals, then I have an important message for you. Hitting your goals are going to be next to impossible if your testosterone levels are in decline. It doesn't matter how old you are. The average male testosterone level has been declining at a rate of 1% per year since the 1980s. Low T can lead to lack of strength, decreases in bulk, and even male menopause, which causes a lower sex drive. I urge you to test your testosterone levels in 2023, and you can do it all with help from today's sponsor, Let's Get Checked. I love Let's Get Checked because it gives me the freedom to measure my testosterone levels without having to get permission from a doctor first. You don't have to leave your home, you don't have to get off your couch, you don't have to go to a lab to get your blood drawn. It's very convenient. Here's me taking the test myself. Just took a quick and painless blood sample, followed the user-friendly instructions, and sent this bad boy to the lab. Got my results back that same week, and here they are. Long story short, my testosterone levels are lit because, like Hangman Adam Page, I am a man! According to the analytics for this wrestling YouTube channel, so are you probably. Once your sample arrives in the laboratory, confidential results will be available on your secure online account in 2 to 5 days. Let's Get Checked laboratories are CLIA and CAP approved, which is the highest level of accreditation. Your results are reviewed by a member of the Let's Get Checked clinical team, and they can even give you a virtual consultation, and in some cases, the clinical team can prescribe you medication that'll be ready at the pharmacy of your choice. So if you want to test your testosterone levels from the comfort of your own home, visit trylgc.com/prowrestlingbits for 25% off using the code WRESTLING25, also available in my description. AEW's Backstage Drama has been a bugaboo that shows no signs of going away. Backstage Drama has definitely settled down since September, but that's like saying that race relations in America have calmed down since slavery. Even without CM Punk, there were still significant backstage issues. Sammy versus Andrade, Malachi Black versus his contract, Bobby Fish versus Common Sense, Thunder Rosa getting stripped of her title. The longer any backstage tensions linger, the more nervous AEW should be, as long as Tony Khan continues to demonstrate passive leadership or lack thereof. With free agency around the corner, a locker room filled with carny wrestlers looking to get paid will only continue to give AEW and Tony Khan fits. Next is Rampage. AEW Rampage is flat out dying. There's no other way to put it. I may or may not have a video about this coming out in the future. AEW Dark Rampage was quickly established as the B show and has not recovered since. This was the same show where CM Punk made his triumphant return to pro wrestling to the tune of over 1 million viewers. Earlier this month, Rampage fell out of the top 50 cable ratings for the first time ever. This past week's Rampage plummeted to 411,000 on Black Friday. Yuck. Women's wrestling was a big red flag in 2022, but I actually see this as more of a yellow flag. AEW's women's division has gotten objectively better in recent months. Saraya's return was certainly a boost, and if AEW comes to its senses and makes her a heel, she could really be something once the ring rust is gone. AEW made a new star in Jamie Hayter. That will only be further cemented with an inevitable feud alongside Britt Baker. Jade Cargill is feuding with Bow Wow, who is going to bring national attention and, more importantly, coverage from black media to make AEW cooler. AEW recently filed for an All Elite Women's trademark, which could bring more good news to its once struggling women's division. AEW will get Chris Statlander back in 2023, which I think is a bigger deal than people realize, provided she stays healthy, not to mention the return of top star Thunder Rosa eventually. AEW's women's division has always had talent. AEW just hasn't been the best at capitalizing on it. Hopefully that changes in the new year. Here's a video about how AEW became the most hated wrestling promotion of this year. Check it out and subscribe so that you're not the most hated wrestling fan of 2022. How will AEW fare in 2023? Tell me in the comments.